Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another live recording of the Are You Green podcast. So let's just dive right in. Thank you so much for watching. Please click subscribe and the like button. It means a lot to me. And if you subscribe, you'll get notifications of when I go live next. So I do record the podcast live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can always look up and listen to the podcast through anywhere you listen to podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and it's just "Are You Green?" ? So that's all, and let's get started. Hello, traders and friends. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 29th, and we actually saw the market dip a little bit this afternoon. Since we saw record highs yesterday, I was not surprised by this dip at all. The S&P 500 previous close was 372.14. It's now around 371. Is the S&P 500 green? No, it's not. It is red. Although a lot of the tickers are gaining some steam going into the close. So it might rally as we look at the close of the market, which is in about 10 minutes or so. So it's part of the excitement of the stock market. The XLK is the technology sector indicator from the S&P 500, and the previous close was 130.52. It's now at 129.86. So the XLK is red as well. For those of you who listen to the podcast daily, you know that yesterday I was red, even though the market was hitting all-time highs. So now the question everybody wants to know, are you green? Yes, I am green on my personal accounts. A lot of that does have to do with Intel, and we'll go into that story after the break, as well as looking at where the country is on vaccine distribution, and then talking about my holdings with AMD and a new swing trade with PHAT Pharmaceuticals, PHAT. So stay tuned and we'll cover all of that in just a moment. It's hard with YouTube because I have to make an artificial break. So that being said, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Are You Green Podcast. There you can direct message me any questions you have about trading. I have loved interacting with the listeners through Instagram. So feel free to slide into those DMs. Okay, let's start with the news. Today, disappointing news came out that the Operation Warp Speed for covering the COVID vaccine and COVID in America is falling very short of their goal for vaccines at the opening gate. It's really disappointing. Only 2 million vaccines have been given at this point, and they had said that they were expecting around 20 million by the end of the month. Pretty obvious that they're going to miss that goal there. And, we will just have to continue to follow what's happening with vaccine distributions. There were a couple of companies that have come out still trying to produce more of their own vaccine. But so far, Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine are the only ones that have been approved. And as I mentioned, those are being distributed, just not in the mass quantity that we were really promised. But that's just how it goes, right? That's how 2020 has been. Thank God it is the last week of this crazy year. Diving into trading, totally messed that up. I'm going to take this out of the podcast. But looking at Intel today, it had a huge bump up. This movement really explains why I do not trade based on the news and instead trade based on the charts. News today came out from Third Point. So Third Point is a hedge fund run by Dan Loeb, an amazing advisor. I like this guy because he is very honest, hard-hitting, and I think that we need more of that when it comes to investors speaking up about the companies that they're holding. And obviously for Third Point, Intel was a long-term hold for them. They hold about 1% of Intel's market share for how much stock is on the market. Third Point holds 1%. That sounds like it's not a lot, but in reality, it's a lot. And they have an influence on the company because, as I mentioned, I have other videos. Well, I guess the podcast doesn't know this, but I have other videos that kind of break down what it means to own a stock. And basically, you are a part of that company. You're investing in that company. And that means that you get access to financials, you get access to a shareholders report, and so on. And for the shareholders that are holding a significant amount, the company does work with them. So what happened is that Third Point sent Intel a letter telling them that they need to change their strategy. I just love how bold he was by not only making this letter very strongly worded and very clear that he's expecting action to be taken, but also by sharing it with all of us. CNBC got a hold of the letter, and now we all get to kind of dive into what this big hedge fund is thinking about with Intel. So they were pretty much talking about how Intel is losing the chip race. So right now, Intel is, even with the rally that Intel had today, it's still down 18% in 2020. And if you look at AMD, that's up 15% just over the S&P 500 of 2020. So they've seen, out of the growth that we've seen in the S&P 500 for the entire market, AMD has beat that growth by 15%. So obviously sorry guys. Obviously this commitment has made it to where it's such a struggle, because when I record the podcast, I edit this out. So I feel bad for YouTube. You guys just get the behind the scene scraps. But let's dive back into Intel. So I just wanted to go ahead and pull up the ticker for the day so we can take a look. Of course, my phone is loading so slowly right now. Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. The struggle is real. Okay. So even though Intel is up almost 5% today, it is still struggling overall with 2020. What I found most shocking about this news is that this is basically a hit on Intel. This shareholder is saying that they are disappointed in Intel. They are feeling like the strategy that Intel is moving forward with is the wrong strategy, and they want to discuss how to make changes in 2021. If I just saw this news, I would think that this would send Intel crashing down, right? Only it didn't. It made Intel pop up the 5% more in the morning. It's kind of evened out, but that is why trading the news is so crazy, because you can never predict whether news is going to be good or bad, because the market is just reacting. So instead, I follow a trading strategy. I read the charts. And of course, when I saw this pop up, I knew it was a great time to sell. Even though I had higher targets originally for Intel around 51, I did go ahead and sell for an average of 49.34. So we'll just kind of go into my personal trades now. I had originally bought Intel for an average of 47.55. I added down at 45.33. My average came out to 46.44. So when I sold today, I made a gain of 2.9. So really happy with that swing trade. For those of you who out there who are long-term investors, I do think that Intel is a fairly safe ticker. However, I would recommend, maybe putting your money elsewhere. And that's why I'm going to continue to hold AMD until it really hits the upper 90s and those higher levels, because I have a lot of faith in AMD. I guess I shouldn't use that word, but based on the charts and the market, I see AMD as continuing to grow and hit those targets eventually, as opposed to Intel, where I'm just honestly, I'm just not sure. It's very uncertain. And a lot of people could be seeing this news with Third Point stepping in as a good thing, because Intel did respond saying that they are, interested in, discussing strategies and working together. So that's good. And then also Dan had said from Third Point that he would look at having somebody change on the board of directors, because that is technically their right as a major shareholders to be a part of that board. So maybe that's why the stock bumped up, thinking that now Dan is a little bit more active in Intel. It's going to put pressure on them, and then that pressure will make them grow. But again, you just never know. And that's part of why I really focus on short-term swing trades as opposed to long-term investments. But I am going to continue to hold AMD for a longer swing, as I mentioned before, and I'm happy to be out of Intel, especially because I try not to hold two stocks that are very close competitors, like Intel and AMD are. So I was glad to get that one off of my plate for now. I did enter into a small swing trade today with PHAT, PHAT. So my average is at 35.10. I hate this swing trade already. I loved the movement on the ticker, and that's obviously, why I wanted to buy into it and start this swing. But with this ticker, the volume is so low, and that's why, for this, it's actually called Phantom Pharmaceuticals. That's why I am only buying a really small amount, and I'm sized as low as I go, basically, because with such low volume, I know that I'm going to be holding this a long time, and I don't want to tie up too much cash in this ticker that will take a long time to hit my targets. I do have another buy level down at 32.23, so I'll size in a little bit more there. My target sell starts at 37.28, and then I do believe it will go back to 40.45. So, I'm just going to be watching it and seeing, hopefully the volume will pick up on this ticker in 2021. The last thing I want to mention, as we come to a close of the year, they have been mentioning it on, CNBC, and every, financial advisor has been saying that a lot of people are selling their stock right now to either put into different funds before 2021 hits, or to hold the cash moving into 2021. So do not panic sell. If you made a trading plan and it's not quite working out, I would, again, just give it time, because you might see it hit those levels in January, and then you might shoot yourself in the foot because you didn't even give it a chance to work out. So I am holding a lot of names right now, and I'm very comfortable with that. A lot of them are in the red, and I'm okay with that too. And I'm going to continue to hold those through until 2021. So that's the end of today. It's a really short episode. I'm sorry I've been slammed today, but I am excited to always check in with you guys, talk about the markets, the most exciting news, as well as the stocks that I'm holding. Please continue to send me messages at RU Green Podcast on Instagram, because I love learning from you guys and interacting with you and talking trade strategies. And if you feel like you're too much of a beginner, also message me, because I can definitely give you resources to help, because I feel like in this trading community, we need to support each other against the huge hedge funds that we're up against day trading and swing trading. So I'm here for you, traders and friends. I hope you have a great day. I'll be live tomorrow, streaming on Wednesday, and I will not be on the stream or posting an episode on Friday, since it is New Year's Day and the market is closed. So we really just have Wednesday and Thursday, so 2 more days left of this week. Let's make sure that we are planning our trades and trading our plan. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry today was a short one. I am so busy. It's incredibly difficult to work and trade full time and work full time and trade full time. I know I said that, but I'm going to say it again. But I am doing it and doing it well. So thank you all for supporting me through watching and listening to the Are You Green podcast. I will see you tomorrow for the next live stream.